Hey guys, welcome back to the Hulk Halo podcast. We are going to be looking at predictions. We've seen testing and we are definitely super confident about these predictions. They're all going to be absolutely right. And you can let us know if you disagree down in the comments below, but you'll be wrong and I'll be right and she'll be wrong. Perfect, let's go. Do you want to start first? Who do you have in 20th?
I have Isaac Hadger. I don't think the Racing Bulls are going to be great this year, and I think he's going to be the worst of the Racing Bull drivers. So, Sippy, someone had to be last, and I went with Hadger.
Fair. I have gone for Doohan. I don't think the Alpine will be bad. I think he'll be replaced, and I don't think he'll have enough points built up to avoid being last. So technically, I think he'll come 21st, probably, or maybe still 20th. But yeah, I don't know why you'd pay all that money for Colapinto if you're not going to use Colapinto essentially. And yeah, so I don't think it'll be Doohan's fault. He looked pretty good in testing, looked close to Gasly, but yeah, it's just how I think the season's going to go. So I put him down in 20th. On to 19th. I've gone with Hulkenberg.
Ooh,
Sauber don't look great, and spoilers, but I just think Bortoleto will do a little bit better, like just get a little bit luckier in our race and you score a few more points and that'll be the difference. What about you?
It's so funny you said spoilers. I'm like, your teammate had to head. I was like, oh yeah. I have gone with Bortoleto. So same,
fair enough.
Just same reasoning, much of a muchness, a point or two in the difference. But yeah, the Sauber I'd say is probably the least strong looking team, but I'm more confident in their drivers than I am in my 20th place. So Bortoleto 19th.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, there you go. I've Bortoleto in 18th place. I just think he'll get lucky maybe once, or like he's back-to-back champion F3, F2. He's obviously a very good driver. So yeah, I give him a fairly good chance of competing with Hulkenberg, and I don't think it'll be competing with Hulkenberg. It's just I just think he'll get luckier in our race, and that might be the only point Sauber score all season. So just because it's going to be such a competitive season and their car isn't competitive, that's the only way I see it. And yes, that's why I've gone with Bortoleto just out of Hulkenberg in 18th.
That's fair, because I don't think anyone expected Joe to be the one who scored Sauber's points last year over Bottas, but he was, and it's like, yeah. My 18th is going to be Jack Doohan. I think he'll do fine. I think he might get more than 5 races, hence why I put him here. I think he might get maybe half a season. Hopefully he gets the full. He deserves to see the full season now. I think they're so harsh on young drivers at the minute. I'm like, just give them a season. But
yeah,
the Alpine's looking strong. And, Australia's his home race. I'm hoping he gets a point or two at least. And that could be enough to put someone just not on the bottom of the table. We've seen for a few years now drivers scoring no points. So I think even a point or two is a big jump up the order sometimes.
Fair. Like, sure, looking at last season, all you needed was a few points and you were off the bottom of the table. Right, on to 17th. I have put Hadjar. I think the Racing Bulls won't be great this year, and I think if they are to score points, it'll be with Tsunoda, it won't be with Hadjar, essentially. Like what you said when you put him in 20th. I think he'll have a good season. It'll be a good rookie season. I also think there's a chance he might lose his seat. I don't know, it depends how well he does, but I know Red Bull love their juniors, and they have another special young talent coming up who has a super license. So yeah, I think he's under pressure from the get-go, a bit like Doohan. I just think he'll get more of the season under his belt, so that's why I've put him down there in 17th.
That makes perfect sense, and I have gone with Hulkenberg, running out the rest of the Sauber. Again, good driver, bad team. It's the luck of the draw. They're waiting for Audi to come in. They could shock us. Again, there can always be a crazy race. So, like, a 17th could be 5 points, it could be 20 points. It really depends on where everyone else is sitting. But I think out of those bottom ones, he'll do the best.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's going to be either zeros and ones down the bottom, or as you said, they could be on teens, 20s. It depends how crazy a season is, because like, if it is very nuts up front, you're going to get more crashes, and that gives the midfield teams or the back markers a better chance of getting through. Right, into 16th, I've put Behrman. I don't think the Haas will be, just from testing, I know it doesn't mean much, but I don't think they'll be able to compete with the Alpine and the Williams, and I think Ocon will do better than Behrman this season. So yeah, I put him down there in 16th.
That makes sense.
Rookie season as well.
Yeah. Oh, all the debates about who's a rookie and not. Absolutely not. If you have not done a full half season as one chunk to me, you're a rookie. Like, you need to have made it through, like, uninterrupted races. Like, there's no point in being like, they've done 4 races and they're all, like, different cars, different teams, different seasons, and you're like...
Yeah.
Anywho, I have gone with Stroll. This is going to sound like Stroll hate, and it partially is, but also I don't think the Aston is going to be good. It is more a mix of Stroll being the less strong out of the 2 drivers in the team inherently, and bad car. So yeah, it's going to be one of those things that I really think those last 2 spots in the top 10 are going to be filled by 4 drivers, and none of them are Lance Stroll. So
fair. I'm in agreement with you. I have them slightly higher. I have them down 15th. It's 2026 for Aston Martin or bust. I just don't think they care about the season, and I just don't think Stroll will have the motivation to try very hard. Which sounds harsh, but I think if you give Stroll a good car, he tries very hard, but I think he needs a good car to get himself up and motivated. And yeah, I don't think the Aston Martin will be any good this year, so yeah, that's why I have him down in 15th place.
Perfect.
Cool. On to... Have you done your 15th? No, you have not. Who's your 15th?
Okay. Oh, I have not. So in 15th, I have gone with Tsunoda. I think he's going to easily do better than Hajar, but that could be 2 points. I don't think the Racing Bulls is going to be the... You'll have to wait to see the constructors, but I don't think they're going to be very high up. So I actually think I've been very nice looking now to Yuki, but I rate him as a driver. I think he'll do great. He's been driving that car for, God, decades at this stage, hasn't he? So if anyone's going to do well in it, it should be him. So yeah, that is my 15th place.
Fair. I'm trying to decide if I want to make a last minute change here.
Sub.
I'm going to do it. So on my 14th, I'm going to put Tsunoda. With what you're saying, I don't think it's going to be a very good car this year. I think he'll outperform some of the rookies in slightly better cars, and he'll outperform the cars that are worse than his. He's a really good driver. He's in a bad spot. This is possibly his last season in F1. He won't be kept at Racing Bulls anyway, and then his only safe havens after that, I think, will be Aston Martin, and that's not his decision. That'll be up to the Strolls of the world. So I'm going to pop him down there, in 14th place.
So in 14th, I have gone for Ocon. The more I think about it, I may disagree with myself saying Behrman's going to outscore Ocon, but I'm sticking with it now because I am never wrong, and I refuse to admit that I will be. The Haas, I think, will be probably there's the top teams, best of the rest, like midfield, and then there's the bottom teams. I think Haas will be the top of the bottom teams. So I think it's just much of a muchness of which driver. Again, I think we went more into depth into this in our teammate head-to-head, but I just think it's going to be a rogue race where one of them outscores the other. So I'm going to go with Ocon.
Fair enough. And I have Ocon in my 13th spot. For all the reasons you've said, I think as it has to be the best of the backmarkers, and I think Ocon will get more out of the car than Behrman will. Ocon's a really good driver. He's more experienced. Behrman, I know, has been around Ferrari a bit more, obviously, but yeah, I think Ocon's coming in this season with a point to prove, and I think he'll do pretty well, so that's why I have him down in 13th.
On 13th, I have Behrman, as he's the only one of the 2 to have actually driven a Haas car in a race. So he's the more experienced driver now. No, this is very much just... I really rate Ocon. I don't know what I was doing this day, but I've said it now and I'm sticking with it. I do rate Behrman as well. I think he just might be a bit more adaptable. I sometimes forget how old some of the drivers have gotten because I forget that I'm getting old. But I'm like, no, he's only been in the sport like a year or 2. Like, he's still can adapt, but like... He was in the sport, out of the sport. Like, he's gone, like, he's getting up there, that I just think he might take a little bit longer with the, quick reflexes of reacting in a new car and stuff like that.
Fair enough. Right, who are you having your 12th spot?
I have gone with Fernando Alonso. So, again, more of a dig at the Aston than Alonso. I have put him years above his teammate, but I just, like, you can only pull a tractor so far sometimes. Like, if all the top spots are taken and, like there's not much you can do else except be there and be waiting, and I think it will be him being there and be, like, waiting for the chance to score a point, but if the car's not there, there's very little they can do.
I'm in, and for the first time this list, total agreement. Alonso in 12th. I think the Aston Martin won't be good for a lot of the season. There's a chance that Adrian Newey might come in, see something, they can fix something to bump them up a little bit. It's a lot to ask of a single man, but if anyone can do it, it'll be Newey, and if anyone can take advantage of it, it'll be Alonso. So yeah, I have him in 12th for that reason. More in hope than anything. It wouldn't surprise me if he was behind the Haas cars. I think you could put him just ahead, like just behind, in between the Haas cars, maybe in between Ocon and Behrman. Either you could put him behind Behrman as well, depending on how good that Haas is. But yeah, at the moment I have him 12th, just in the odd chance he picks up some points. He's lying in wait. That Monaco race, double pit stop, something random.
Yeah.
Something completely random might get him there, and I think Alonso will be the one to take advantage of something like that. Right, on to my 11th spot. Albon. He's just outside the top 10 for me, which is hard to put him down there because I think the Williams is going to be good, but I also think the Alpines are going to be good, and I think Sainz is going to be better than Albon this season. I don't think Albon's bad. I think Albon has the capacity to be a really great driver, but this is the first time we're going to see him properly up against someone of proper caliber and Sainz. And yeah, I think Sainz will just do a little bit more, even though he hasn't been in camp nearly as long.
Again, agreeing. What a shock. This is actually so rare. I don't know what's happening. The world is collapsing. But yeah, basically everything you said. I do think the Williams is going to be good. I have just sadly seen a quote from Carlos Sainz being like, I'm not going to get podiums or top 5 this year. My fans need to come to terms with that. And I was like, Carlos, please stop influencing me right now. Literally just saw that. So that's great. But I think he's being modest. But yeah. I do think these next few, basically the Williams and another driver, who we'll get to soon, are going to be just the ones scrapping it out from 9th and 10th. So out of the three of them, because we have so little to measure him against, I gotta put Albon at the bottom of that pile.
That's fair. You can only go off what you've seen, essentially. And in testing, Sainz set a faster lap. Not by much, but he did. So that's basically what I was going off. But yeah, so into 10th. I think we might be matchy here again. Gasly. Gasly, yeah. What are your reasonings going?
He seems kind of at one with that Alpine now. Coming into the end of last year, they're one of the only teams that haven't changed their chassis, so it's not like he's trying to relearn a new car. We saw what he could do with it Brazil onwards, and yeah, I think he just snuck into the top 10 last year as well, maybe, if I'm not mistaken, and I could see him doing it again.
I think he came 10th overall.
Yeah, so I could see him doing that again very easily. Yeah.
Fair enough, I'm in agreement. I think the Alpine will be good and Gasly will get the most out of it. It's as simple as that. I think he'll be 10th overall this season. He could be 11th, he could be 9th. I don't see him going too far either side of that, to be honest. So kind of plopped him in the middle in 10th, because in 9th
we have
we have Sainz for the top best of the rest positioning, essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, I really like him, so I'm biased. I do think I am biased. It wouldn't surprise me if he was 11th and Albon was 9th, or Gasly was 9th, he was 10th. I like Sainz. He makes pancakes really well, and he's a good driver. He's at the fastest lap time out of anyone in testing. It was still off the pace of Q3 from last year, but it shows the Williams is there from the get-go, and hopefully they can develop well this season and keep moving, although all the rumblings are very much their focus on 2026. So if they're going to even bother developing this car too much after Barcelona, wait and see. But I reckon if they're in contention for a 5th place, I don't see why they wouldn't. Like, 5th place would be their best result since, 2016, when they had that massive Mercedes power unit advantage. and they just came fifth surely because that engine was so good. So yeah, I think for James Vowell, getting that team from, what was it, ninth last year to fifth would be majorly impressive.
Yeah, no, I think I'm doing weird mental maths as well. I'm like, Albon went up against Verstappen. I know it was his rookie year, but he had 2 years. He was fine, but like nothing special. Never bet him. Leclerc and Verstappen would be the peaks of their games, and Carlos has beaten Leclerc. So that I'm like,
Yeah.
de facto, I just think, and like obviously I know like Albon's been there for ages, but like it's a new season. It's just a new season. It's like you can be top dog on your team 1 year, aka Daniel Ricciardo, and then a Max Verstappen comes along, and you're not. Like it's just
absolutely fair. Like fair enough. And or even like Ricciardo did it to, or Vettel did it to Webber as well, didn't he, in Red Bull? So it's just the way it works essentially. People come in, they do well, and I know it's a different situation because Sainz is older, but I rate Sainz. I rate Sainz really well. Like if you can beat Leclerc, you're a great driver, in my opinion. So I think Leclerc is a better driver overall, but I think when Carlos Sainz is on it, you know it from the minute one of FP1, and you can see he's just going to win. And it's as simple as that. And I think Sainz will be best of the rest in the 2025 season. Now I think it'll get interesting again. Who do you have in eighth?
I have gone with a little Italian sweetheart boy, Kimi Antonelli.
Okay.
And I presume we're different now. We've differed.
Yes.
We have differed. Great. I will give my reasonings.
Why?
I think come mid-season or so onwards, the Mercedes is going to be the worst of the top 4 teams, and I just don't think he's going to outperform Russell. I think he'll have very highs and lows, which isn't really like that's great when you're at the bottom of the field, because if you can pop in a P3, a P2, and no one else is scoring any points, that's phenomenal. But if you're popping in a P2 and then spinning and burning through your tyres in the next few races, and then popping in a P2 or even a P1, and then that cycle, that doesn't really work in the top teams. Like you need to be constantly up there scoring points, and he hasn't seen most of these tracks before. He's never driven an F1 car before. Like there's just so many things that I think are just going to be like roadblocks. But I do think we're going to see flashes of absolute magic, but I just don't think they're going to be enough to compensate for what he has to do. I'm feeling very like Piastri rookie year, like will be there and then burn through his tires, but can be there.
Fair enough. I've actually gone for Lawson in my P8. I think the Red Bull Mercedes will be pretty even throughout the year. What I think will be the major difference is if Lawson is ahead of Verstappen goes through. If Antonelli's ahead of Russell doesn't get given the green light to go through. And I think if it does happen, that'll chip away at Lawson's points. Lawson will be asked to back up and defend so Verstappen can get maybe another place. If Lawson's in third, back up the pack so Verstappen can maybe move from 6th to 5th or whatever on a new set of tyres. Maybe like that kind of strategy will come into it. Lawson's very much going to be a number 2 driver, and I think that's why he's going to be down in 8th. Whereas I think Antonelli, it's just a straight fight between himself and Russell for the whole season.
You heard it here first. Niall thinks Verstappen needs team orders to win. That's a crazy statement to say. Oh my god, I nearly fell off my chair. I was cursed. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry, F1 gods. It wasn't even a funny joke, apparently.
Well, if you want to bring up some sad memories, we can talk about why Verstappen needed a rear gunner.
No,
you don't want to talk about Perez's wonderful defense? No, we don't want to talk about Perez's
I'll give Perez his props for his wonderful defense, and I will say that Michael Massey, watch your back. Michael Massey, watch your back. Still, I haven't forgotten. I know you think you're safe walking around the paddock. You're not. Guys, it's a joke. I just mean I would be very mad at him. I wouldn't do anything. Could have the FBI at my door.
All I'm saying is essentially Verstappen needs help sometimes, and when the field gets closer together, there's no harm needing a little help there, guys. That's okay. And I think that it'll just chip away at Lawson's points. Instead of getting 15, he'll get 12. And it's just over a full season, that adds up pretty quickly. And then moving on to my 7th position, Antonelli. I don't think he'll be as good as Russell throughout the season. I do think Russell will be ahead of them most of the time. But if Antonelli is ahead of Russell, Toto isn't getting on the phone being like, hey, you know,
Do
team
the
orders,
accent.
let him pass, because no, Michael, no, this is so not right.
Not that
Do not
one.
let them pass, George.
There we go.
Something like that. Essentially, like, Antonelli won't be asked to back up from 5th so Russell can get 8th. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to try stuff like that. And I like, maybe if Russell is very much in contention for a title, they might ask Antonelli to do it, but I just don't see that happening. So I don't see them asking Antonelli, because like, they're putting a lot of eggs in Antonelli's basket. Like, think of all the testing time they've given him and all the old cars and everything like that. They really, really want to back Antonelli, and I just think because of that, he'll do better than Lawson this season. That's not a slide on Lawson. I think Lawson, if given free reign, would probably do better, but I don't think he'll be given free reign. And I think even Red Bull have said he won't be given free reign.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. And like, the more I do think about it, I'm like, I think Mercedes would prefer constructors and Red Bull would prefer Max as champion. Like,
Yeah.
like that, like, they're very different mindsets of a
100%.
team. But
Well, like, think about what they're trying to sell.
yeah,
Like, Mercedes are trying to sell cars. What do you want to sell for cars? Your constructors. You build the best cars. What are Red Bull trying to sell? An energy drink for
apparently,
individuals.
I don't know.
Like,
They're not really an energy drinks company anymore. I think they sell a dream. They sell an idea.
that's what I mean. And your dream isn't to have a car that did it. Your dream is to win the
Yeah.
championship, and that's what they're selling. So that's what they care about. So yeah, sorry, go on. Why do you? I assume it's Lawson in
Yeah.
your 7th spot. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it was kind of like the top 8 was very much chunks, and this is my chunk.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
my thing is just like, obviously Kimi came through the ranks very quick. He's young. Like, I just think Lawson's got that little bit of an edge, of a cooler head, multiple series. Obviously has been in F1 seasons, even though he's still a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he has driven the RB, like, he's driven F1 cars in races. Just like, there's a lot to an F1 race, and I think it takes a while to just get those teething steps. And it was just more of a case of, I think he'll just be a little bit more headspace sorted, less stress. Like, if there is a crash, bounce back quicker. If there's just like little things like that, just mentally, more than like going toe to toe in equal cars. Like that's not the game. It's just more, I think he's just a more developed driver.
No, completely fair, and he's better on his tires.
Yeah.
So, wait and see on that one. I agree, though, when you're saying, like, they're in chunks. Like, mine are very much in chunks at the moment. And in my 6th position, another chunk starting, Russell.
Damn it.
You too? Yeah. I just don't think the Mercedes is going to be good enough. And when it is good enough, I think there might be a few crashes. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Russell, I really rate him as a driver, but I just don't think the Mercedes is going to be there unless the whole season is cloudy and wet. I just don't see him competing for the top 5 as often as the next 5 drivers I'm going to list, and that's my reasoning. I just don't think the car's going to be there. I think he's good enough. I just don't think the car's going to be there.
Toto Wolff's going to be doing that seeding thing where they make it rain.
That's such a thing. Didn't Mercedes do that? They where they build and store their cars, right?
Yeah.
It's in like the north of Germany, and it's like an open field, but they get hailstones there. So instead of building a roof, they were like, no, we will seed the clouds away from the factory so it rains over there. So they literally seed the clouds
so funny.
instead of building a roof.
So I always hear
anyway,
people
sorry,
say
go on,
for Lawrence Stroll to do it because Stroll has that one turkey pole in the wet. They were like, just make everything that condition. Just make every track that condition. And I was like, Lawrence has the money to do that, but Toto definitely has the money to do that too. So
yeah, 100%. Sorry. So anyway, you have Russell in 6th as well. What's your thinking there?
Mercedes. I feel like they have lied to me for years. They keep saying, oh my god, we're back and we understand our car concept and look at this really cool weird thing we've done. They do it every year. They just do something weird. They had a weird flat no side pod car, and then I don't remember what they had to change back from that weird no side pod car, and now they've been like, we actually don't need a 3-point suspension, and I bet you that stupid front wing falls off that car. Like, I
enough.
just don't trust them to build a car that works across the season.
Yeah.
Like,
That's so
watch
fair.
them instead
across
now.
the conditions across the season.
They'll be great in, like, Qatar now, apparently. They'll just have gone the other extreme and be like, our car actually only works in 48 degrees centigrade, no air. It actually doesn't work in air. Like, it works in a vacuum. Like, sorry. Like,
Our car works in space and that's it.
yeah, so it's not a slide on Russell. Obviously, he's proven himself. I think anyone who doubts him is silly, but...
Yeah, well, he's gone toe-to-toe with Hamilton over 3 seasons and his health is out.
yeah, so, like, he's not
I think that's the biggest compliment you can give to someone. Like, holding your own against Hamilton,
like,
I think that's really high praise.
yeah, like, he's clearly no push around. Like, he adapted so... Like, that Mercedes, as I said, was temperamental and everything, and he was just so able to, like, take what he was given and do well with it, which is a really good thing for a driver to be able to do. So, but... Again, it's so funny because back in the day it was like Red Bull was great in the corners and Mercedes was great on straight line speed, but like Mercedes now just cannot get a fast enough car. Like at the end of the day, if the car is not fast enough, there's nothing you can do about that. You can't outdrive a slow
Pretty
car.
much, yeah, you can't work on the engine either.
No.
So you can't even turn that up anymore.
Party
than it already
mode.
is. It's all aerodynamics at that point.
I miss Mercedes party
So
mode.
yeah, fair. Okay, moving on to 5th place.
You go first.
Verstappen. I've said it. It's Verstappen. I don't
Mine's
like
not
it.
much
I
better.
don't like saying that. No, I didn't like saying Verstappen there because, like, I just don't know. I just don't think the Red Bull is going to be good, but I think he's going to be great. So it's so hard to say 5th. Like, from first 4 years in a row to 5th seems crazy to me. I just think the guys ahead of him will just have much better cars, and he'll be able to keep up, but he won't be able to do much more. And I think it'll be a very impressive 5th place.
So funny because I didn't want to say it, but yeah, Verstappen. I was like, the comments will yell at me.
No, like, he's a really good driver. I just don't think the car will be under.
I feel like it's the exact same thing I said for Alonso, I said for Russell, and I'll say it for Verstappen. You can't outdrive a slow car. Like, there's nothing you can do. You can rag it, wring the neck of it to get it to second on it, like in qualifying or first in qualifying, but you're exposed for the next 60 laps. Like, what are you, like, you can't drive a quali lap for a full race distance.
I think it'll be very much like, was it the 2019 or 2020 season where it was Mercedes dominant, but any time there was a sniff at anything else, it was Verstappen.
Hamverbot.
Verbot?
Hamverbot. That was the podium.
Oh, Hamverbot.
Hamverbot.
Yeah, fair. Hamverbot. But I just think that's going to be it. He'll be there, but the difference is it won't be one team ahead of him. It'll be 2.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he's going to struggle. So, not struggle, but like just won't be able to keep up. And like that's it essentially. Now, could be wrong, and the car could be better than I think it will be. And if the car's better than I think it's going to be, he could easily come first again. But I just don't think it'll be easy for him. I don't think the car will be good enough essentially. So I popped him in 5th place, which is crazy after the last 3 seasons we've had.
Do you want to hear something crazier?
What's crazier than that?
I have Norris in 4th. So, guys,
No, you don't.
I know we'll. Yeah. I said in my stupid teammate head to head that Piastri was going to do better than Norris. I keep falling off my chair saying bad stuff. I actually think I'm haunted. Yeah. My Lando Norris hoodie coming in clutch right now to say he is washed. No.
You think he's going to come forward?
I do.
Okay. Okay. Why?
I think they are going to be too cocky. I just think they've got that everyone has a target on their back. Toto Wolff from the end of Drive to Survive 2021, like we're gonna do, like they're like they're honouring their last year's constructors car by clinching a car that clinched it in the last race of the season, even though it was the fastest from Miami onwards. Like, in my mind, they're like, we did phenomenal, we did this, and I was like, you guys were so lackluster and you got so lucky that you got that constructors championship. like from
Fair
how they
enough.
acted, like Silverstone, how did they not win that? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Italy, how did they not win that? Like, there's so many times that they just drop the ball, like, internally, that it's like, what are you doing? And the reason that I have put Norris lower is because I think they will prioritize him, and then somehow that makes it worse. And I know it didn't work for George in Belgium because of the tires, but like I'm thinking like they give him the key strategy and it's wrong. Like, do you know what I mean?
Fair.
Like they'll be like,
Okay.
he's ahead, put him on the better, like the two-stop. Put him on the two-stop and we'll keep Oscar out to like block traffic, and then traffic never comes. And it's like, oh, whoops. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
you
nothing.
think they're
It's
gonna
actually
make
nothing.
too
I
many
know.
mistakes.
I'm farming clips. Blah blah blah. It's obviously nothing against Norris. He's a fantastic driver. I think he's really proved himself. I think he's still a little hot-headed. I think he is. What? He's between us and age. Like he's like
24.
I think
25?
yeah. He's like November before me. So like he's like
Okay.
yeah. Like he's like I wouldn't like to see what I'd be like in a Formula 1 car. I'd be crying and yelling. Like that's all I'd be doing. So like. It makes sense. He is a little bit like just... He's still got a little bit of a hot head to him, I think. That's inherently how he's going to be. He's a 24-year-old, 25-year-old. So it's like, yeah, but nothing against him. It's just, I actually think it's going to be... Mercedes got too comfortable and then lost. But I think McLaren are too confident in what was, in my opinion, just like above average season. Like it wasn't a great season. From their perspective, from the team perspective, not from the driver perspective. The drivers did great, but from like the team's perspective, I just don't think they like. I think they were really bad at capitalizing on a good car.
Yeah, fair enough. There was lots to talk about that throughout the whole last season, that they weren't capitalizing enough on the opportunities given to them, mostly around Norris and not capitalizing enough for the drivers. But I understand what you mean. Like, I think they very much last year, they wanted the drivers, but they really wanted the constructors. So, I think that's where it kind of went. In my fourth place, Lewis Hamilton.
I knew you were going to do that.
Lewis Hamilton, I don't know. It's hard, but I think the McLaren is going to be better than the Ferrari. And I think Leclerc, at the moment, is a better driver and qualifier than Hamilton. I think Leclerc will... I think it's just going to be too difficult, because I think Leclerc will out-qualify Hamilton more than Hamilton will out-qualify Leclerc. And with that, it's just going to be a case of... If they're running 1-2, I'd give Hamilton a much better shout. But when they're running 1-2-3-4, and it's all too close together, like Leclerc and DRS of someone else, or, you know, if there's a car in between Hamilton and Leclerc... I just think it'll come down to quality, and I think in general Leclerc nowadays will out-qualify Hamilton 6 times, 7 times out of 10, which, you know, it's no shame. Leclerc, I think, is the best qualifier on the grid, so that's pretty much my reasoning. I think Hamilton's probably better in the race in general, but he's just going to be starting that one position too far back.
That is completely fair. Like, we saw Lewis literally win Silverstone when he decided to qualify on the front row. He was like, I actually will qualify here, and I will win. Sorry. I know that was, again, it was McLaren dropping the ball as well, but it was like, the times he showed up to quali, it was like, oh yeah, I can win a race.
But that was to be fair, the weather also suited the car there a lot as well.
He seemed very uncomfy in that. But,
yeah.
All I will say, it's so funny, not to you. Anyone calling Lewis Hamilton washed because George bet him last year? In 2023, Lewis came third and was fighting for second against that ridiculously dominant Red Bull, and George came 8th. So, and everyone was like, Lewis has one bad season, everyone's like, Fraudmilton, and it's like, yeah, actually, and it's like, no, like, he is a 40-year-old man, and it's like, I do agree, like, last year, horrendous season, but I just think it's so, when people are like, no, he's finished, and it's like, Alonso hasn't came in, like, the top 5 until, like, 2023 for, like, 12 years, and everyone's like, no, but it's Alonso, and it's like, okay.
Fair enough, yeah, I know, like, I think Hamilton is still really good.
Oh no, I think putting him fourth is a completely valid in the way next year is going.
I think my reasoning is pretty good. You know, the LH fan base. If you want to hate, you can hate. But,
that's me. Guys,
you know, you might be right.
I'm giving him a pass.
Might be right.
As part of as part of the LH fandom, I'm giving him a pass. It's fine. He's fine. He has valid reasoning.
I'm glad I've gotten the pass. But look, it's a solid fourth, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was higher or lower. But it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Essentially, I think if Hamilton came anywhere in the top 5, Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, he came third. Fair enough. It's Hamilton and a Ferrari. He came first. Fair enough. It's Hamilton and a Ferrari. He came fifth. Fair enough. It's Hamilton and a Ferrari.
Yeah.
If he does worse than that, we can have proper
Yeah.
discussions. But yeah, I think Hamilton in fourth for me anyway is where I'm going to leave him, and I'm going to stop talking about it to stop giving people ammunition. In third place, Oscar Piastri.
Indeed it is.
Indeed it is. Well, we have it for different reasons completely, actually, because I think he's going to do worse than Norris. I think just Norris, being in the team longer, he's older, he's more experience under his belt. That's it. I think he'll just, when it comes to the really tough things, the really hard decisions, I think the teams will favour him. And yeah, I just think that's just going to be how it's going to be. I think the year after this year, it'll be Piastri more so than Norris. But I think this year it's another 20 races for him to get under his belt. It'll, like, him getting another 24 races is like getting like an extra like 30% of his races.
Yeah.
Whereas for Norris, it's like getting an extra like 10% of his races or something.
I'm wearing
like
his 100 race hoodie.
There you go. So like Piastri hasn't even done 100 races yet. He's done 50 or something, 60 maybe. Yeah, so that's why I have him in third. I think he's going to have a great season. I think McLaren's going to be good, and I think he's going to give the Ferraris and Norris and Verstappen and the Mercedes lots of trouble. He's going to be very competitive. He won't be a pushover, and if he's in first, I reckon he can hold it. I just think he won't be in first as much as the two I have in front. What are your reasons for putting him in third? Because they're going to be very different.
It's so funny because the more you spoke, the more it validated me putting him in third to me. But like, again, it's for completely different reasons. So my big 2 points are kind of similar to yours, where you were like, oh, you think 2026. I think he's going to think that this is the last year he might be able to go for a championship. Like, genuinely, like, new regs, they could be, like, everyone keeps being like, oh, Merc are going to develop a great engine. They just mightn't. Like they actually mightn't develop a good engine, and they're a customer team. So that's them, like, in the bin. So I think he's, like, we saw it in Italy. Like, he will just absolutely barge his teammate out of the way. Like, he could not care less. It's so funny, but everyone goes back to Hungary being like, Lando was so mean, and it's like, Italy, Oscar's like, I hate you. He said, F your championship. Like, literally. He was just like having none of it. So I just think he's got that. I think even though he's younger than Lando, he's more level-headed, but also more feisty. Like, I think he's just got that, like, a great blend of, like, yeah, I won't hate you for pushing me off the road, but I will, like, do it straight back to you. Like, you know what I mean? He's not going to be like, he got crashed into and he was like, geez, that's the move of a world champion. Whereas everyone else would be like, he deserves a penalty. What's happening? This is beep, beep, beep. Like, he was just like, wow. Like,
yeah, I completely agree. He is probably one of the most chilled out drivers on the grid. I just don't think he has enough experience yet, because I think he'll be really competitive and just like have a run of 3 or 4 races where he's kind of mid, and then he'll be really competitive and have a run of like 3 or 4 races where he's mid, and it'll just put him out of contention. So that's why I have him in third, and you have him behind Norris, but you have him in third ahead of Norris because he's more just chilled.
I think he's more feisty as well. Like, that move on Leclerc in Baku had no right. There was absolutely no right for that to have worked. He even said it. He was like, he it's that quote from Was in NASCAR. It's like, I'm putting my foot to the ground and I'm closing my eyes and I'm not opening them until I see, like, the finish line or God. Like, that is Oscar Piastri, where he's just like, I merge now. I go into first now. Everyone else move. And it's like, you kind of got to give him prompts.
Yeah, he just, like, because he was saying, like, I'm so surprised I didn't hit the wall. Like, he was shocked himself.
I just think he wouldn't be the type of the driver that, like, battling for a championship, the pressure gets to him as much. Like, it breaks people. It, like, broke Nico Rosberg. Like, Lando put up a good fight last year, but you could see it was taking a very big mental toll on him, because, like, you're just so under the spotlight. Like, it's hard to do. And I just think he seems very at one, very peace. Like, it sounds so silly, but, like, F1's a mental sport. Like, it is insanely about your mentality and how you feel and how you can rationalise with yourself. And I just think he's very good at that.
Fair enough. I completely respect that. And we agree he's going to come third.
That's so funny.
Big ticket items now. Big ticket items. Who is your second place in the 2025 season? Go.
Hamilton. No! It's not how I have it written down, even. But it's true. It's also not what I did in my teammate head-to-head. It's the one time I'm going to get one. Oh.
Okay, you have Hamilton in second.
I actually gonna cry. Yeah.
You think he's gonna sniff his 8th world title?
I think it's gonna be so hard, but
I'd
I'd actually
be able to grab it.
like. It's actually worse because in my mind, I'd prefer if he came fourth than second. Like, I don't want him to come second.
Okay.
I also had a dream, completely
Fair enough.
unrelated, that he won his 8th this year, and then him and Charles were battling for his 9th next year, and Lewis did like the thing in Cars where he comes to the line and hits the brakes and like let Charles go through. And he said, and he said, so he started being like some waffle quote, I don't know. Anywho, I think Lewis Hamilton will come second because I think Charles Leclerc knows how to drive a Ferrari. Like, I don't know. Like, he knows.
Well, did you not hear Charles Leclerc's quote from the other day?
No. What? We're like the Kardashians of F1. Sorry, that's from the F1. That's from the Drive to Survive trailer. You should watch it.
No, it's not Hamilton's first time driving a Ferrari.
Did he actually say that, or was that a funny haha meme? I doubt he would have said that.
He said it.
Did he actually say that?
He did. He said it.
That's so funny.
He said it. He said it. Something about 2007 or something.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Not 2008. And anyone stealing documents. That'd be crazy.
No.
Anywho, no.
That didn't happen.
No.
I swear I heard something happened.
You know what? The guy who did it, unfortunately, jumped in front of like a semi-truck on the motorway, so it actually never happened. So, it actually never happened. Guys, just find a video like on that on the 2008 Spygate. It's wild.
Okay, so it's Hamilton's second season in a Ferrari, and you don't think he's going to win? He's had He's had a season under his belt.
Yeah, in 2008. I was making my communion. Like, what do you mean? Yeah.
I was making my communion.
I would have been there in church with, you know, those like Ferrari like candles, like the Pope Ferrari candles. Me.
Okay. So
I'm gonna.
You think Leclerc will do better than Hamilton this season? I agree, but why?
Because I want to get the points. I don't believe it. Head rationalizes it, heart doesn't. Anyway, I think the Ferrari are, for some reason I have in my mind that they're going to develop the heck out of this car this year. Like, I think that they will not rest until they're the fastest car for some reason. And
okay,
it'll just be a case of, I think, out of the blocks, Leclerc's going to do better. Just first 3 races, upgrades, Leclerc gets them, upgrades work. They don't get to Hamilton to 2 races later. I do think, like, going into, like, the final, like, 4 races, that, like, the top 5 will be in the hunt for the drivers. Like, I think it's going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah. I think it'll be very close at the end of the season.
But, yeah, I think it'll just be a case of, like, Leclerc getting... Not, like, I don't think anyone's going to get preferential treatment, but, like, I think, like, Leclerc will get the upgrades first. Like, just stuff like that. Like, he's embedded in the team. Lewis can barely speak Italian. Like, it is, like, it's, like, not only is it a new team, it's, like, a big culture shock. Like, he's moved countries. Like, he is, like, there's just a lot to, like, do. And, like, Lewis is old. Like, there's no beating around the bush. Like, he's not. He's 40. Like, it's going to take him longer to just get settled than, like, a pippy young 20-year-old being like, woohoo, I live in Italy now, pasta. Like, also, he's vegan, and I don't think there's going to be vegan food in Italy. So, I think he's going to be in a bad diet.
I think with Hamilton's money he'll be able to find a good chef.
Actually, Angela's back. Angela's great. It's fine. Actually, no, it's fine. Angela's back. Actually, Angela's back. Oh no.
Does Angela being back change your whole mindset on this?
You gotta come back to me.
I have in second place in the 2025 World Drivers' Championship I'm thinking. I'm processing this. Norris.
Sorry.
That's not what I've written down, but I'm going Norris. I've got a feeling. I think you've convinced me.
I actually do think
that's what you've done.
You know what? Charles Leclerc World Drivers' Championship 2025.
Yeah,
like,
same,
you know what?
same.
It is. It's just happening.
I just think he wants it more.
Give me.
I think
Charles Leclerc,
yeah,
grabby hands, World Drivers Trophy.
Yeah, man. I just think he wants it more. So I'm gonna put Norris second, very close, last race kind of vibes. The McLaren. I want to say like the team might not do as well, but it's Ferrari they're up against, so that doesn't matter because the Ferrari are going to do crazy stuff anyway. But yeah, I think Norris will come second, but it'll be very close. Leclerc, better, I guess, a better driver.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to.
And I think it's the Ferrari effect though. Like the Ferrari come out with a car, it's beautiful, and I want to see it go across that get the checkered flag and just come first. I think Leclerc reminds me like Vettel, like when he was winning his championships in Red Bull, just kind of like that, like really wants it. Like I think if Norris won the World Championship, like woo. But I think if if Leclerc got it, he'd be just like in tears, like with Ferrari. It's like if it was any other team, I wouldn't think this. I just think
it's
Leclerc
like written in the stars.
Just go together.
Like yeah.
It's
like it should happen. It's what should happen, and it's nothing against. It's nothing against Norris. Like it's just like it should happen, and it's something for me. It's something against Hamilton. I'm like, Leclerc should win the Drivers' Championship this year with Ferrari. Like,
it's the romance of it all.
Yeah,
it's the romance of Leclerc and Ferrari. So yeah, I'm letting my heart lead my head here because I had Norris down as first because I think that's what'll happen. But now I'm putting my colours to the mast. I'm gonna get Norris second, Leclerc first. The reason I'm going Leclerc first, it's Leclerc, it's Ferrari, and he's a really good driver.
I think I'm gonna go with Leclerc first, then Hamilton second, and my reasoning is I either get a point or I'm happy. I don't know.
That's fair. You're happy. You're hedging your bets there and your emotions.
I will be very happy if Sharon wins it as well. It's like I keep thinking I'm like if Lewis like wins 1 or 2 already, and then it's like him or Lawson or him or Antonelli like fighting for a win. I'm gonna kind of be like I go on at the rookie. I want the rookie to win. I'd be happy either way. Like I'm like I want to see a good race, and I'd love to see like. It's gonna hurt me to say, but Lewis has 7 titles. Like he doesn't need another title. Like he doesn't. Like he just. Like he's got those 7 WCCs. So it's like.
Yeah, I will say though, if Hamilton wins his 8th with Ferrari, that would be pretty special.
I know 3 teams. That'd be crazy. I'm like, has any? It's Misha. No.
Yeah.
Has won it with 3 separate teams.
There has been. Don't ask me any names, but there definitely has been.
Editor, put it in. Sorry, I'm really annoyed.
Yeah, I'll put it in. But I know someone won with Williams, McLaren, and someone else. I don't know who, but think back farther back, not recently.
Yeah.
Like Schumacher won with Ferrari and Benetton.
I think so. Yeah.
But I think before him. There's
not a lot of multiples before him. Like there is, but like not in the recent, like the 80. Like there's Senna.
What about Lauda?
I don't know.
Who did Lauda win with?
I literally just watched Rush, and I'm like I don't know. Like
yeah, fair. But I think no, maybe not Lauda, but I feel like a Hill or someone is one with
you and that Hill. You can't keep doing this. You can't keep getting away with it. Right? Okay, constructors. Before you go on a Hill rant that I'm not in the mood to hear. Let's quickfire these constructors. I feel like some of mine don't make sense with my championship order, and I don't care.
Yeah, well, it's your old point. Happy or you get a point.
No, I feel like some of them don't mathematically make sense. The constructors championship order.
Yeah, but but neither do mine. Well, actually, mine still kind of do with my changes. I think.
Oh, but I changed things.
Let's just get that.
Anyway, come on.
Yeah. Let's get this out of the way. 10th, Sauber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they'll score multiple points this year. I think they'll score multiple races this year. It might be 1 point in 2 races, but I think they might do it.
Maybe.
Hot take.
Hot take, Sauber scores some points. Okay, cool. I think that's about as much as I want to say on Sauber. I just think they're too far behind the pack. They're waiting for Audi to come in and save them somehow. I don't know what Audi are going to do except, pump a lot of money in, I guess. They've got
Audi
two
engine?
pretty good drivers.
Is it an Audi engine? Is it an engine? Or whose engine are they taking?
Yeah. It'll be an Audi engine, yeah. So, good engine.
Not a customer
lots of
team
money,
anymore.
And they have two good drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've two, Ocon and Behrman are... Not Behrman, sorry.
No.
Ocon and Bortoletto.
No,
Bortoletto and Hulkenberg. I got there.
Haas, just like
something about Haas. They're good drivers. So, I think Bortoletto's a good driver. I haven't seen him in an F1 car yet.
any F3 and F2 back-to-back champ. Can't write him off. Anywho, 9th.
Yeah, pretty much.
V-Carb.
Yeah, same.
Again, I think they're just going to get developed, outpaced this year. They just seem kind of there and thereabouts where they ended the year, and many other teams have taken a leap forward.
Yeah, pretty much. I just don't think they're going to be as competitive at the start of the year as they were last year, which kind of gave them a buffer. I think other cars have taken bigger steps, particularly Alpine and Haas and Williams, so I think it'll just put them behind. On to 8th.
I have Aston Martin. Yikes. Fall from grace.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. Aston Martin. I think, again, they're just focused on 26. There's not much more to say about it. They're focused on 26. And 26 could be an amazing year for them. They have all the money. They have all the facilities. Get loads of wind tunnel time and just go from there, essentially. Yeah. I don't know.
Aston usually
I just
as
don't
well.
think they care.
Aston usually get all their points in the first half of the year as well, and they look where they were at the end of last year, which was hard. So it's if they don't even get their little points grabby at the start of the year, I don't know what they're going to be doing. They're not developing that car this year.
No, fair. All right. 6th place. Who do you have?
7th.
I have Haas. 7th place. Who do you have? I have Haas.
Alpine. So we're different.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think one driver can save a team. So, if they're swapping drivers, which they mightn't, speculation, they mightn't swap drivers. But what did I have? I had Doohan in 17th. And you had him in the 20th or 21st. I don't think.
Yeah, but I think Colapinto, which actually to be fair, I think is harsh on Doohan. I think he might score points in the start of the season, and then that'll be enough to save him. But anyway, that's besides the point. But then if Colapinto comes in, he'll score points, and all the points add up.
Yeah, that's how the constructors are. You actually got me there. That is actually how the constructors are. I just think it's a case of I think they'll have a very clear number one in the team, and I just don't think it can save them from in the midfield. I think you need two solid drivers, and they just they don't have two established drivers or two confident drivers. Again, it's nothing against Doohan, but you're sitting with that weight on your shoulders of oh my god, this is gonna be my last race. Oh my god, this is gonna be my last race. You're stressed. You're not gonna drive your best. You're gonna overdrive the car. It's what Albon said about when he started to slip behind Verstappen. He just had to over push the car, and that was making him crash, which was putting him in a worse position, and it was just a vicious cycle. And I do think if Franco came in, he would do better, but Flavio Briatore is a scary man. He genuinely that is it's a the way he spoke to Jack in that trailer. He is a looming man who's very direct about what he wants, and Franco's a child basically as well. It is it's a lot of pressure, and if he's being brought in and it's you're gonna save our team, he came into Williams with no expectations, and I think that's why he did so well. And then when people started to look at him, he literally it was he was building painting the Mona Lisa, and someone looked at him and he sneezed and spread went across it. The minute the pressure started to come to him, as it would to any one, he really started to crash and get crash happy, which is fair. But I just don't think, I think people are very oh my god, Franco, and it was his first 3 races, and not oh my god, Franco, and it was his last 3 races.
Yeah, fair. I get that. I just think the car is going to be better than 7th.
Yeah, fair.
And that's I've put Haas there. I think Haas Ocon and Behrman, well, similar to what you're saying, Behrman isn't, he's done 3 races, and he's good. Ocon's in a whole new team, so I just think those factors kind of wager in, and then I just don't think the Haas will be as good as the Alpine. So overall, I just think the Haas will come 7th, and it'll be a good 7th. I think there'll be a good jump up from the teams behind them, and I don't think it'll be much of a jump to the teams in front of them. But overall, yeah, I'm going to put Haas in 7th for that reason. And, the car keeps falling apart.
Weight saving. Duh, they have their drivers are too tall. They're too heavy. Like, they've got giant drivers. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. All right, then, who do you have in 6th?
Haas.
Yeah, fair.
Right.
I have Alpine.
Yeah. I think we could just swap what each other said. Like, it is. Like, it's.
Pretty
I think
much,
this is.
yeah.
You know how Alpine were like 10th, and then they were like, actually, no, we're scoring a double podium. We're actually really good, and now we've scored a double podium, and we're the best. And you're like, oh, okay. Like, I think it'd be really funny if the Haas got a podium this year when Nico Hülkenberg left. So.
Oh, I'd be heartbroken for him. Oh, and there's not a chance he's getting a podium this year.
No, there's not.
No.
Yeah, I think it's just. I think either we could be both right. Like, either of us could be right in that. Like, I swapped those before. Just I had them the same order as you and swapped them just before we started recording. So it's like, it was more. It just went better in my driver's standings. I was like, that makes way more sense if they come above them. But if
I get
if Gasly
that, yeah.
scores like if between Gasly and like Behrman and Ocon score like 10 each and Gasly scores like 70, then like it's just.
Well, I just think that's more likely at the moment, because I think the Alpine will be, because like as you said, one driver can't carry a team until you look at Aston Martin.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And because like it's so hard for those teams to score points that if you have a slightly better car, you'll just be picking up points more often. So like I don't think like Gasly will like outperform Ocon and Behrman like the whole team, but I think he'll outscore them just because you only get points from 10 downwards. So
hopefully not for much
that's
longer.
That's just kind of my reasoning.
If
no,
well, if there's another team's coming in, we'll have to go to 12th.
I thought they didn't want to go to 12.
I know, but that's because they're all whinge bags. Like, if there's 22 drivers, they can't have points to 10th. It's so insane.
11th? Keep it at half?
Yeah, I'd take 11th.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, then I assume we're going to agree on 5th place then.
Will I am. This is the formula.
Williams.
This is the formula.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Williams are going to be good. I think it's going to be really close between them and Alpine for this 5th spot. But I think Williams have the drivers, the stable team, a good pace car. Have to see what the race pace is like, of course, and how it is on its tyres and overheating and stuff like that. But all in all, from what I've seen, what I've heard, I know they're always saying we're focused on 2026, but I don't think they fully are when you have a lineup of Albon and Sainz. You can't just ignore that as a year. You just can't. So I think they are trying, and I think if they're doing well, they will like actually go, okay, we will put some more resources into this, because if Williams start coming like 9th, 8th, 7th maybe, if the rookies are struggling or if there's a lot of crashes up front, they sniff a 5th or like they sniff a 4th place in the constructors. I don't think it'll happen, but also I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility. And with the team they have and the money backing behind them, they're not using Excel spreadsheets anymore to track parts. I fancy the chances.
For some reason I thought you were going to say Excel bullies, and I was like, what?
Yeah, they're not using Excel bullies to pull their car anymore. Thankfully they've moved to the engine formula, and it's much better.
Yeah, you basically said everything there is to say. I think everyone's always going to say that, like, oh, this year isn't that important, but like, why would they not capitalize on this year if it's going well for them? Like, it'd be ridiculous. It'd be so silly not to. They have, honestly, up there in the driver lineups. Like, I'd put their driver pairing pretty high up. Like, I think they've got a solid driver lineup, and
I think it's the 3rd best pairing.
Yeah. I'm looking at the teams. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're behind Ferrari and they're behind McLaren.
Yeah.
Not in that order. I don't know what order, but they're the 1st and 2nd. use your imagination.
Whatever you think is
here.
right.
Like, yeah. I agree with you.
You're right. Good job.
You're right. And then I think Williams are third. Yeah, because like Red Bull have a rookie, Mercedes have a rookie,
Alpine have a rookie.
Aston Martin has Stroll. Racing Bulls has a rookie. Haas has a rookie.
And Sauber has a rookie. Yeah, there's 6 teams with a rookie and one with a Lance Stroll. Like, there's only 3 teams left. Like,
pretty much, yeah.
God, there's 6 teams with a rookie. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I know, I hear 6 rookies, but sometimes I think, like, oh, they're all in the same teams. Like, you know, like, it's 6 teams with a rookie. Yeah. Anywho, Williams, yeah, I think they're comfortably sitting 5th at the, like, lowest. Like...
Ooh, I don't know about that now. Alpine looked pretty strong at the end of last year.
Yeah,
gives me hope for Alpine development.
Sainz and Albon. I'm just like, Sainz and Albon.
Yeah. Fair.
Whose engine do Alpine have? Do Alpine still have their own engine?
Yeah,
oh yeah, no, I'm going wise.
No.
Is it Merc this year?
It is Merc this year.
Ooh. Well, too late now.
I'm like 100% sure.
As you type furious.
I've googled Merc this year Alpine.
Well, I need to take a drink of beer. I don't care.
From 2026? No, from 2026.
Ignore that.
Stop drinking beer on the podcast.
You were googling. It's gone so flat.
Yeah. Use Mercedes power units and gearboxes from 2026.
I'm just gonna take that.
Okay.
Mine's here.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Just looked up. Yeah, it's from 2026, so it's not this year. So they're still gonna be in a Renault power. So I think it'll be Alpine Williams close. So I don't think it's a comfortable 5th, but I also wouldn't be super surprised if they develop super well and there's lots of drama. A possible 4th. It's a lot to ask, but
oh my god,
maybe.
I'd be so happy for them.
Yeah, it would be incredible.
So who do you have them beating in 4th place then?
I would have them beating Red Bull.
Wow.
Yeah, which is nuts now that I've said that out loud because it's definitely Mercedes.
No, Red Bull came 3rd last year as well. And they had that insane run at the start. Like, that's the only thing that saved them.
Yeah.
I think it's valid.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna Red Bull 4th then. Yeah. Yeah.
It makes sense because
I just haven't seen Antonelli.
I have Mercedes 4th, but you've put Antonelli above Lawson, and I put Lawson above Antonelli, so it makes sense that you put Red Bull 4th.
Yeah, actually, fair enough. Okay, yeah, we'll yeah, but I also have Verstappen ahead of Russell.
So do I. Who knows? I'm going with Mercedes.
I've Verstappen. Sorry, I'm okay. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I'm going Red Bull. You go Mercedes, and we'll split the difference at the end of the year. I don't Red Bull. I just don't think the car is going to be great, and I think Verstappen will get the most out of it. But yeah, I just don't see them competing too highly this year after looking at how they finished last year. But it wouldn't surprise me if they came 3rd again either.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I just think Verstappen against Russell, Verstappen's going to do slightly better than Russell, and I think Lawson's going to do slightly better than Antonelli. So at the top teams, I just think Mercedes is going to be 4th, but I don't think they're not going to be stressing out 3rd. And maybe even 2nd at the start of the year. I think by the end of the year, the top 4 teams will be very comfortably 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th. But at the start of the year, I think it'll be a real toss-up, and they could easily take 3rd.
Yeah, fair enough. And then I suppose I agree with your reasonings for my 3rd. I have Mercedes, you have Red Bull.
Yeah. They're a great driver that's better than the team and a rookie. It's just...
It's just too difficult to know.
It's all about... It really is going to be based just on the car.
Yeah, pretty much. All right.
I'm very interested
we'll move on from that.
in your top 2 though, because you've gone a Ferrari, McLaren, Ferrari in your drivers.
Yeah.
So who do you have in 2nd?
And in Ferrari.
You think they take the... That's so funny. They can't have anything nice. They take the WDC but lose
they take the World Championship and they lose their constructors by like 3.
No. Oh, my light died.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they lose it by like 3 points, something like that. Like, it's going to be nothing in it. It'll be some random sprint race that it all came down to. And because like I think I think Leclerc will barely beat Norris. But I think I think Piastri will be closer to Norris than Hamilton will be to Piastri.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah. It's simple. I think Ferrari will come second. There'll be nothing in it, and yeah, I think it's just going to be the two McLaren boys in the middle will get enough points between them to take the constructors.
That's so fair. I want you to write a personal apology letter to Fred when you're wrong, but that's fine. He doesn't deserve this slander. I have gone with McLaren, but it's not a confident. It's just...
Yeah.
Well, in my driver's standings, it kind of has to happen because I have Ferrari first and second. But yeah.
So impossible. So it's impossible for what do you call it, Ferrari to come second for you then.
Yeah. I stand by that.
You stand by that?
Yeah, I could be wrong. Doesn't mean like I stand by it. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay,
yeah.
And then first place for you is Ferrari then.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
They deserve it. I'm gonna come out and say it. I want them to have it. I want them to have that little silly trophy with their name on it, and that's it.
Actually, question. So, constructors. Who has the most constructors championships? Like, which driver has the most?
Which driver has the most constructors?
Yeah.
Hamilton, maybe. Was it?
Yeah, I'm wondering because like,
it'd be Hamilton or Schumacher with 6. Oh, and 8. No, Hamilton has 5 because they got disqualified in 2008 for not being a Ferrari.
Why'd that happen?
Oh wait, no, he won. I'm sorry, okay. I'm wrong. He still does have 6 because Mercedes won it in 2021.
21, yeah.
So then he has 7. Wait, I forgot you can win the constructors without having the driver's title. Sorry. So Hamilton has 7.
Yeah. Okay, and then Schumacher has 6.
I don't know. I wasn't born for some of them. I know he's the driver's champion, but like I couldn't tell you about the constructors champions.
Yeah.
Editor.
Okay, fair enough. I was just wondering. I'll put it because I'm just saying, like, is it a case of Hamilton wins the constructors with Ferraris? He's broken a record there. Then at least.
He's probably broken it already. Let's just add it to the list. Like that list is stupid long.
Yeah, because he's gotten another constructors when Rosberg won, didn't he?
Yeah, and then in 2021 they got the constructors, so he's actually at like 9. Like.
Yeah, I think he's well clear.
It's just the McLaren one. I know they didn't get the constructors, and then from 2014 to 2021, constructors. Just straight run.
So that's 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 constructors then.
Jeez. Glory. What do you call Max Verstappen? Ball hogger or something like that.
Ball hogger, a glory hog.
But yeah, Forza Ferrari or McLaren. What do you believe?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know down below.
Okay. After all that rambling of absolute waffle, I think we're going to call it there. I think we're going a bit brain dead here. So, thank you very much for making this far. Let us know down in the comments who you think is going to win the constructors, who's going to win the drivers, if our opinions are washed or not. And yeah, sweet. We will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.